The next game we are talking about kinda holds a special place with me. I decided before this game's release back in 2009 that I would finally beat Kingdom Hearts 1. Yeah, took me 7 years to beat this game, and by that I mean Ansem, Seeker of Darkness's fight before he turns into a ship. I had done everything else at that point except for beat the final boss. But anyways, after Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, we got 2 games around this time. Kingdom Hearts Coded, that was a cell phone game for Japanese audiences, created during a drunk video game pitch. I'm not kidding on that one. And Kingdom Hearts 358 Days over 2. Alright, so the name is very confusing until you play the story. Basically, Roxas's time alive equates to the 358 days, the 2 representing Roxas and newcomer Xion, but we will get to her. This game has only been on the Nintendo DS, and I say the game cause, hey, we got a 3-hour movie on the collection for the PS4 and PS3, but the only way you are playing this game is to track down a copy and put it into a Nintendo DS or 2DS, 3DS, whatever. The game isn't too expensive to get, but let's see if it's worth playing or just sit down to watch. So, I'll be looking at the game on the 3DS, but be showing the PS4 cutscenes in the video. So, let's go ahead and get started with Kingdom Hearts 358 Days over 2. So the game takes place with the Organization 13 members.
Invading?
You can't do this!
Sorry, Organization 8 members? I don't know. The first week is a tutorial, and then 6 of the members go off to Castle Oblivion, where Sora and Riku make some new member spots available. But anyways, it doesn't matter, because the main focus is on these 3 characters. Roxas from the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, Axel from both Chain and 2, and new to the series, Xion, the unofficial 14th member. You would think this would be a great time to get to know these villains through Roxas' shoes, but no. It's more along the lines of, let's focus on these 2 characters and a new character that won't show up in 2. So, what do we have? Well, the game begins with Roxas, which timeline starts towards the end of Kingdom Hearts 1 when this what you say happened. Roxas was created and then made Roxas the Nobody with a capital N, and the game tells the time he was alive from then all the way through Chain of Memories and the start of Kingdom Hearts 2. Alright, let's get into this because this would be the time to talk about them. So, a nobody by definition is the body and the soul of a strong-willed individual who has lost their heart to darkness. The game has tried multiple times explaining it, and in layman's terms, if somebody dies, that body that is left behind will take form based on how strong the will of a person is. This will make the body left behind look more human and less like a monster. When the game talks about nobodies don't really exist or shouldn't, this is what they mean. Nobodies don't have light and darkness, which in this game's universe, everyone has one or both. So they exist in a state of limbo, or how they put it in the realms in between. So the fact they don't have a heart, they can't experience emotions. They only have memories from what they were alive and react based on how they would when they did. This is what Xemnas tells the members of the organization if they want to have a heart. They can through the power of Kingdom Hearts. But, spoilers. However, a nobody can regrow a heart because the body will try to replace it. Look, if you take the word nobody and replace it with an android trying to give it human emotions and memories, you get the general Nomura idea. Okay, with that out of the way, let's start the plot. When Roxas was created, he was found by Xemnas and was recruited into the organization. He is told the group was created to destroy Heartless and collects hearts to make Kingdom Hearts, so they can all have hearts. Like I said before, sounds good, but they do this in a way where they would kill whoever in order to collect hearts. Roxas is a special case since, 1, he doesn't look like the person he was before being Sora, and he doesn't have any memories of being a person like the others. Oh, and he can use the Keyblade, which they said they need him so they can collect hearts. I guess the Heartless really hold on to the hearts if anyone else kills them, and a Keyblader's the only one who can free hearts. Which makes me wonder how they were getting along before him making Kingdom Hearts, which I guess that means they were not? But if that's the case, that makes every other organization member like those lazy coworkers that don't do anything and skate by off of you, the hard workers, so they can collect a paycheck and, oh, you motherfucker. So Roxas is completely emotionless throughout the first few weeks. The only thing he has is his name, a number, and a uniform. He heads out and just mindlessly does his job being trained by his fellow members. He starts to grow attached to a fan favorite, Axel, which he shows Roxas around, not unlike an older brother and a little brother kind of bond. Eventually, Axel takes Roxas to the clock tower and shows him what would become an addiction for Roxas, sea salt ice cream, and says it's like icing on the cake after finishing a job. Which is not like Axel can give Roxas a cigarette to take the edge off of work, so giving him an eating disorder is the next best thing, no? I'm not even kidding, this kid eats an ice cream every single day he's conscious after work. Then after 7 days, a new member is added to the mist, number 14, Shion. She doesn't say anything at first and is given to Roxas to train her on the ropes. She is also said to have the Keyblade, because at this point, why not? Apparently everyone can use it.
Join the club, we've got jackets.
Shion starts to open up to Roxas and sharing ice cream together. But all good things come to an end, because now we get to the point where Sora goes to sleep for a year, and since the two share a connection, it starts to affect Roxas, and he starts to get Sora's memories. A cool thing that they show using the DS is that when you run around as Roxas, it will sometimes show Sora at the bottom, mirroring your movements as a nice way of showing their connection. This makes Roxas more frustrated and confused as to why he is having these memories. No one wants to tell him why exactly, not even Axel, who you can see isn't too happy doing this since he is growing attached to Roxas, much to Sayex's dismay, who they show through Sykes and Axel's interaction that they have some history together from before the organization, and Sykes feels that Axel is losing sight of the goal that he and Axel share. Shion also starts to have memories of Sora and doesn't understand why, but Shion starts to get Sora's memories as well. She starts to go out and find answers, which, as we come to find out, that Shion is a replica or a puppet that was given life created by the late Vexen. The same way that the Riku replica was made, however, she is special in that she is siphoning Roxas's powers, which is why she can use the Keyblade, and she holds Sora's most precious memories of the person he cares for most, Kairi. What were you expecting me to say, Riku? Alright. Yeah, Xemnas wanted a contingency plan in case something happened to Roxas, so Shion was created, and she was a blank slate that everyone saw as like a mannequin, with the exception of Roxas and Axel, who saw her as a black-haired version of Kairi. However, Xemnas didn't expect Shion to become her own person and become friends with Roxas, and had them fight each other to see who would be the better of the two to use. Shion, realizing that she is the reason why Sora can't fully wake up thanks to being told by a blindfolded Riku, Shion contemplates going back to Sora now that she has some friends that she doesn't want to lose, and then there's a whole scuffle between her and Xigbar when the rest of the organization is trying to destroy Shion, that he sees Ventus and Shion, but at the time of this game's release it made no sense. It does now, but we'll get to Birth by Sleep soon. During the whole story with Roxas and the Sea Salt Trio, Diz and Naminé are trying to put Sora back together, but can't because his memories are being split up between Roxas and Shion. They pull in Shion, tell her she's trash, and to go back to Sora, that makes her believe she is trash. Poor thing. Roxas tries to find out why everyone has been jerking him around and trying to kill his friend with a little less than stellar response.
A puppet couldn't be part of the organization. Just count the seats here. We have and always will be 13.
I mean, you say that, but you guys are already not at 13, and the way things shape out after this, her being a member isn't a problem, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Roxas decides to quit and leave the organization, where he runs into Shion at the clock tower. She tells Roxas that she's no longer herself and has one of the most surreal moments so far in the series.
Roxas, this is him. It's Sora.
Shion tries to forcefully take Roxas back, but Roxas being superior, Shion starts to fade away and starts to be wiped from everyone's memories.
No! Shion! Who else will I have ice cream with?
I always hated this line. A tragic end for this character, but we knew it was since she wasn't mentioned in the game that follows this from a timeline standpoint. But we got one last thing to deal with. Roxas, only barely remembering Shion, goes to honor Shion's request of taking out Kingdom Hearts, and goes to take care of it. Riku shows up and tells him he can't, and he needs to go back to Sora and have a fight that was a secret video in the end of the first game. Roxas almost beats Riku, but Riku lets out the darkness stored inside him and strangles the life out of Roxas, him and Diz sending him to the virtual world, kicking off the events of Kingdom Hearts 2. Well, that's a first for this series, a very basic, albeit sad story. If you've played the other games, you can follow it just fine, but story is just one half of this game, and man, I wanted to like this game. Despite him being in a very long, drawn-out tutorial, I still liked Roxas's character. At the time, I thought he was really cool, and I thought since he could use 2 Keyblades and had all this untapped potential when he realized who he was and started fighting Axel in Kingdom Hearts 2, but this game... let's get into it. So this game is 30 hours long, and it feels more. I looked at my original playtime, and it was 90 hours on beginner of all things, and I started to play a proud playthrough that I did not get very far in, which did not bode well. To play this on an emulator, I only played on an emulator because I have no way of capturing footage from my 3DS as of yet. Anyway, let's get into gameplay. So, as an elite member of the Organization 13, you think you'd be doing some cool stuff, right? If by cool you mean collecting emblems, breaking shadow orbs, pots, sneaking, occasionally investigating all the places of interest, and dispatching X amount of Heartless to meet your quota.
Hello, Peter. What's happening? I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. So if you could be here around 9, that would be great. Okay? Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm also gonna need you to go ahead and come in on Sunday, too, okay? We lost some people this week, and we need to sort of play catch-up. Thanks.
This game is repetitive to the point where I fell asleep playing at one time. Oh, right, so there is this whole section that manages everything from items to equipment to your level. That's right, you heard me, even your level has to be equipped. It's such a baffling choice for this game, and I know I spent 2 hours alone reworking the grid to put in a new piece of equipment. I also remember feeling while playing this game that it wasn't finished, but nothing in my research proved anything. In fact, this game was pushed from a 2008 release date to a 2009 release date. The level structure is more Kingdom Hearts 1 style, but you don't go anywhere new. I get it in this game taking place during and after Kingdom Hearts 1, they didn't want to break new ground and hit you with a gut-punching sad story. But man, this game is not meant to be played in one sitting. Maybe if you take it on trips, you'll be fine, which I remember playing this mostly in class or in between lunch periods, but damn does this game get old fast. This game does have a multiplayer mode where you can play the same mission again as other characters of the organization, as well as Donald, Goofy, and Sora. The thing is that it's not really anything you aren't already doing a million times already. But man, I see why I haven't touched this game since 2009. I say stick to the 3-hour movie and only play this if you are really curious, or to just add it to your collection. Well, that was a disappointing adventure, and as much as I really wanted to like this game, it's just way too much of a hassle to play through. Well, I'm itching to head back into being a top assassin. Join me next time for No More Heroes 2, Desperate Struggle. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again real soon.